My father, Harry, was the first to glimpse my darkness. All those years as a cop, he recognized it. Something so primal it could never be expunged, only tamed. He was a good father, and I buried him today. With his bad heart, Harry knew this day would eventually come. One day I'd be alone. His legacy, the code, the constant companion he couldn't be, a guiding hand on my shoulder, making sure I don't give in to my dark urges. What are you looking at? They say people grieve in stages, but all I feel is empty. I always have. The only time it's different is when my dark passenger wants to play. Harry saw him once.
It's Juan Rhinus, the pimp who killed that girl. I finally got him.
I sometimes wonder if I'm the reason his heart finally gave out. Harry saw what he created, and it wasn't pretty.
Steady hands there, Mr. Morgan. Have you done this before?
I'm not telling. Harry made sure Deb and I would be cared for. He valued an education, but he also knew there were some things he couldn't teach me, like the most efficient way to dismember a human body.
Toga party, Kappa Sig. You don't want to miss it, dude.
Or how to fit in. Thanks, dude. And more importantly, when not to. I'm not here to do keg stands. I'm here for much more. 15-year-old Bobby Milson was in my father's files. He strangled his girlfriend, claimed it was just rough sex that got out of hand. Got off with a slap on the wrist as a juvenile, released at 18, his record sealed. All these years later, no one would ever know. Except me. Bobby Milson was just a teen when he took his first life. A good lawyer got him a do-over when he became an adult. Now he's Dr. Robert Milson, associate professor, criminal justice, an expert in the criminal mind. Clearly the man doesn't understand irony. I never had him for a class, but 7 missing co-eds did. As a criminologist, Milson knows how to cover his tracks. Luckily for me, Harry made sure I do too. Dr. Milson gave his last final of the semester today. Tonight, he'll be grading papers alone in his office. Looks like I'll be pulling an all-nighter. Huh. Homicides are usually more likely to involve multiple offenders than multiple victims, but you're just the opposite. One killer, multiple victims. Want to know a secret, Professor Milson? That describes me too. An esteemed colleague of yours said I had steady hands. He had no idea. Takes only a few days for a body to decompose in Florida's heat and humidity. Over 1 million acres of Everglades is the perfect place to let nature take its course. Harry taught me that, but there's still a lot I need to learn. Nothing beats Miami in January. A new year, a new semester, new victims. Most people resolve to make a new year different than the last, but my dark passenger's resolve never changes. He must be fed. Tragedy seems to follow Jenna Lincoln. She and her sister lost their parents to a late-night intruder. Turned out it was Jenna's boyfriend. He said she put him up to it. My father believed him, but a jury didn't. Less than a year later, Jenna's sister suspiciously drowns in the family pool. Now the only one left in her family, Jenna inherits her parents' estate when she turns 21 tomorrow. Too bad she won't make her own party. This Christmas was our first without Harry. I've done my best to be there for Deb since he died. That includes eating the last of her holiday treats. Next Christmas, she's getting baking lessons. Right on time, cereal, reruns, then bed. I've come to learn Jenna has a late-night ritual. It's time to introduce her to mine. Unlocked. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. What does that even mean, anyway? Make sure the house is empty. This will help Jenna sleep. She's gone. This is wrong. I have to go. This is the place. If Harry was here, he'd tell me I shouldn't be. But I'm on my own now, aren't I? Sorry, Dad. I have to know. No one's here. This is crazy. That was me. He killed her right in front of me. The plastic, the table, the victim, just like me. He knows everything. I can't figure this out now. It's going to be light soon. I have to dispose of the body, clean up after my not-so-secret admirer. Whoever that was got to Jenna before I could. He wants me to know that he knows what I am. In his own twisted way, he was reaching out to me. Class can wait. I have a more important homework assignment. I've created a copy of myself, and I have to find him. He'd be someone young, impressionable, malleable, his own dark urges not fully formed. Someone wanting to be taught. He was roughly my height, my build, my dark echo. Checked admissions. Peter Thornton was Dr. Milson's graduate teaching assistant. Makes sense. I heard something outside the office the night I killed Milson. I just need proof. Peter Thornton and his father went hunting. Only one came back. He was responsible for his father's death. We're more alike than I thought. This is the kind of heart-to-heart I'd usually have with someone when they're on my table. The fact Peter nabbed Jenna before me is moot. She was going to die that night regardless. But I'm not looking for a sidekick.
Got your note. I was hoping to hear from you.
You put on quite a show.
I could say the same.
And you aren't upset at what I did?
Dr. Milson got what he deserved.
7 dead co-eds, I couldn't agree more.
He'd let me watch but never do anything. It was always his rules.
He hasn't taken an innocent life. I don't have to kill him. Just scare him off. There are always rules.
Then show me. Plastic is so cool. I want to know more. We're the same.
We are not the same. Contact me again and you'll regret it. It's his word against mine if he were to go to the police. They'll never find Milson's body, though they will find Jenna's with Peter Thornton's prints all over it if he didn't get the message. Peter Thornton killed an innocent man today, and I'm responsible. I was careless. When I killed Dr. Robert Milson in his office, his protege saw me, the darkest part of me. He stared into the abyss and witnessed a kindred spirit. I have to keep Deb safe. I made up an excuse for her to stay over at Camilla and Jean's for the weekend. If tonight goes wrong, they'll take care of her as if she was their own. They were more than friends to my parents. They've been like family. They're good people. I can't say the same for my echo. I have to introduce Peter Thornton to the code. Without it, he's just another killer. Without it, I would be too. But unlike me, it won't be his salvation. Thornton crossed a line when he killed that campus guard, left the body for the police and me to find on my way to class. He won't stop killing until I give him the one thing he wants most. And it's not the curly fries. He wants to connect. To no longer walk alone. To meet his maker. I'm more than happy to oblige. Growing up, my father and I used to hunt. It wasn't for sport. It was to stave off my dark passenger until I was old enough to understand. Those hunting trips were all about teaching me the code. The number one rule, don't get caught. It's the only way you get to kill another day. Tonight's the night. I'm going to put my father's code to the test. Either I'm its worthy heir and I survive, or I'll be consumed by my spawn. It's how it should be. Hunter, prey, let the game begin.
Hello?
Surprise. Okay, this isn't going so well.
You're nothing like I hoped.
He's disappointed I'm not what he wants me to be. A mirror image to validate his own darkness. Now the monster doesn't like what he sees. He didn't listen. He's not me. Peter, Peter, Peter. I was willing to let the whole Jenna thing go. She deserved what you did. Well, what I was going to do. For that campus cop, not so much. You saw what I did to the dear professor and thought, hey, that guy's just like me. But what you were lacking was context. You couldn't know my father taught me to only go after those who deserve it. He's dead. No, I didn't kill him. Just the opposite. When I do this, I honor his memory. Peter Thornton was a defective copy I had to destroy, never to know what he was missing. The code, a gift from a loving father. I miss you, Dad. Well, as much as I suppose someone like me can. I read once, good men must die, but death cannot kill their names. Harry Morgan did all he could to make sure I would never wind up like Peter. I may be no angel, but I'm no demon either. I'm just my father's son, and without him to turn to, there are a few things I'm going to have to figure out for myself.